In this video, I will show you how you can create an Express API and a React client-side app. The React app requests the API for data. An Express.js API verifies the logged-in user for authorization and serves or rejects the request accordingly. Ensure you have Node.js and NPM installed on your system. Let's create a client-side React app using White. White helps you create and build your front-end apps amazingly fast. Select React from the available White templates and then select TypeScript from the list of template variants. And that's it. Now move to the app root folder and run npm install to install node modules. And here we are. Run npm run dev to start React app on your localhost. React app is up and running at localhost port 5173. Now time to clean up existing markup from app component so that I can add my code. To give you an overview, I'm gonna display a list of blogs, sign in and sign out buttons. Later, once I will be done with auth implementation, we'll show blogs for authorized users only. Sign in button will be visible for the user. Once logged in, can see logout button only. Set up state hook for getting and updating list of blogs using React useState hook. Initialize blogs as an empty array as of now. I will create a blog React component that displays the blog thumbnail. Here I will map through the blogs and render blog component that I will create in a while. Next, I am going to create the blog component tsx file. Define the blog component. I need to define the data structure for the blog component. So let's define an iBlog interface, and it should have an ID, blog title, and its summary tells the blog component to use it as its props. Let's add some HTML markup to the component to show blog title, ID, and summary. Also, I should add some CSS styles to show the blog as a card in the parent list. React allows you to write your HTML markup as JavaScript. You can call it as TSX or JSX. Let's add some CSS styles to the blog's list parent div. Let's create a list of demo blog items and store them as array constant. I will initialize the app state variable blogs with this array constant. Later, I will fetch the blogs from our Express API and update the state. And here we go. We have a list of blogs. Looks good. I should give some width to blog items to show 3 items in a row and wrap rest of the blog items to the next rows. That's all with the React Client app for now. I will touch back it little later. So time to create a Firebase project now, where we'll be set up and configure Firebase Authentication. To create a new Firebase project, follow these steps. I'm not going to create the blogs project here because I already have one and will use that only. But you can follow these steps to create a new one. Click Authentication and you will be displayed with Authentication Configuration section. In this section, you see the list of all registered users with your app. For now, I am deleting them all. But in a new project, you see an empty list here. In the Sign-in method tab, I have Google Sign method is enabled already. To show you, I am just disabling and enabling it, or can remove and add. In a new project, you need to add one or more providers. In the Sign-in method tab, you see a list of all available sign-in methods. For the demo purpose, I will use Google Sign-in method. Next step is to get the Firebase configuration, AJSO configuration, that is required by a React Client app to communicate with Firebase for authentication and to use any other Firebase services. Firebase configuration is key value pair S of API key, auth domain, project ID, storage bucket, and other similar properties. Client-side JavaScript Firebase SDK will use this configuration to connect and communicate with Firebase resources. Next step is to set up Firebase authentication at client side in our React app, enabling user to sign in and sign out using Google sign-in method. So I created a auth.tsx file and pasted the code and configuration that I copied from Firebase project settings. To work with Firebase in our React Client app, we need to install Firebase SDK, the Firebase node module. To install it, run npm install Firebase. You can check, it should present as a dependency in upackage.json file. Initialize the Firebase app with the given configuration. Import initializeApp method from Firebase/app. You can also initialize Firebase Analytics to track app activity. But let's leave it as is for now. Let's create methods for login and logout user using Firebase authentication. Login requires to initialize Firebase auth, creating a Google provider, and then log in using a sign-in with pop-up method. The sign-in with pop-up method requires Firebase auth instance and the Google provider instance as its arguments, and it returns a user credential instance containing the logged in user in case it succeeds. Otherwise, returns a rejected promise with error. authorize our API requests for blogs, I need to authorize them with access token of the logged in user. So I need to get the token for the logged in user. But user credential instance does not has it, but it has the user. So I need to get the token by calling users getToken result method. ID token result has access token in its token property. So return it from the login method. So same way, implement the logout method. Auth.logout will log out the user from Firebase Authentication. Add a state hook to get and update access token. I will update when user logs in or log out. I should initialize it at token value from the session storage. I will keep session storage token in sync with the Firebase auth state. Let's create button click handlers for both login and logout, and import and call respective methods what I have created using Firebase auth. Update the state with token. Update the session storage token key with token 2. Blogs list should be visible when the user is authorized, meaning logged in. So add token condition while rendering blogs. So see now, blogs are not visible as user is not logged in. Let's add buttons to enable user to sign in and sign out. Also, only one of them should be visible at a time. Sign in button should be visible if user is not logged in, meaning no token value available. Sign out button should be visible if user is logged in already, meaning token is available. Now clicking on Sign In button should display Google Sign In pop-up. Not opening, let's inspect it. This error means initialize auth is missing some props. Let's add persistence and Popu pre-direct resolver to the options while initializing auth. Let's check again. Yes, sign in pop-up is opening now. I see some unwanted code added to debug previously. Let's remove it. It's an error for unique key in a list. React needs unique key for each item while rendering a list. Let's fix it. Let's fix another error. It says two items has same keys. It means our blog's data has duplicate keys in it. So let's update blogs.json. Let's refresh page and see. Sign in pop-up is shown and login process is working fine. Also, I should check if the token is being set in session storage. Yes, it is being saved in session storage. Up to now, I am displaying the blogs from a constant array that I have passed to app state. So now next step is to fetch the blogs from an API request. I will create this API Express app shortly. Be with me in this video. For making an API call, let's install Axios node module. Using npm install Axios command, I will create and run my Express.js Backend API server at localhost at port 3000. I want to fetch blogs when a user logs in, meaning when the token changes. So I am using useEffect React hook for this purpose. Let's check the network calls for our API. As of now, it should fail, as no API server is running at localhost port 3000. And no API request should be made on component load if the user is not signed in. So put a token availability check before the fetch call. Next step is to create an Express.js Backend API app. Begin with creating a root folder. Let's name it Blogs API. From the terminal, move to this folder and need to initialize the node app here. To do that, run npm init command and follow the instructions. You can accept the default values for most of them. It creates the package.jso for the app. Entry point for our app should be server.js file that I will create in next step. Add a script command to run app locally. I will want to add Nodman in place of Node as a Dev dependency. A Node module for running our app in watch mode enables to see live code changes on the local server. Let's create server.js file. This will be entry point for our app. This should create an instance of Express server and should start listening at 3000 port. For that, install Express node module by running npm command npm install express. Import Express and create an instance of it. Start listening to this instance. I have named it as app. Also add error handling in case of app start fails. Let's start our Express API local instance. To do that, run npm run start script. It's an error. Let's check it. Looks like an spelling error in Express node module name. Next step is to add a root API route handler and return a sample hello world text as the API response. Let's check in the browser if it is working fine. Yes, it is working okay. Next step is to add API route that serves the list of blogs. Say, I name it as /blogs. Returning empty array as Jaso in response. Yes, it's working okay. Let's return the array with blog items as the Jaso response now. Our API endpoint should return the blogs list as JSON array. Let's refresh our React client blogs app if blogs load or not. It should give you a cross-origin resource sharing error. To fix that, I need to allow client URL who consumes the API calls in the server.js file. For that, install node module, course, and then add it to the Express instance as a middleware, allowing localhost 5173 URL. And the course error should go now, and API should serve blogs to the client properly. By now you see we have an Express.js API serving blogs and a React client application showing blogs, and that allows user to log in and log out. But hope you remember our use case is to serve blogs from API to only authenticated user only. So let's authorize API requests. I will be creating our authorized middleware. add the authorized middleware to the app. This would check each API request for the valid access token and accordingly respond with error or give execution call to API handler for next response. Let's check the middleware by responding with a 401 unauthorized message. Refresh the client app page and see we have API calls with 401 error response. Next step is to read the token from the API request headers, specifically the authorization header. Authorization header should contain a bearer token being added by the client application for the logged in user. Split and extract out the token string from the authorization header string. Next step is to verify the access token with Firebase admin for its validity. And for that purpose, we need to install the node module Firebase admin. Run npm install Firebase admin npm command. This would add Firebase admin as a dependency in package.jso file too. Import Firebase admin. We need to initialize Firebase admin app before initializing Firebase admin auth and using auth for token validation. To initialize Firebase admin app, we need the Firebase project configuration. So for server-side app, we need to provide the associated Firebase service account configuration. We can get that from the service account.jso file. You can create and download it from the Firebase project settings and clicking the service accounts tab. Validate the access token by calling auth.verify_token method. Add error handling to it. Request should move next in the middleware queue only if token is verified as valid. time to verify the authorized middleware if it is working fine or not. Looks like API local instance is not running up. Let's run it first. Unexpected error. Let's debug the error. I should check the terminal for any errors. Yes, we have some errors on our terminal. It says service account. Just not found. Okay, ITS a incorrect path error. It should be from current folder path. Add // to it. It should work now. It is working now. As expected, it gives 401 unauthorized response. You see users signed in, but still it says 401. Why? Because we still have step pending, and that is to add access token to each API request authorization header. We do it in next step. Add bearer token string in the authorization header in the GET request that we are making using Axios. Oh, okay, we get a course error. It should not, as we had already allowed it in the server.js. Anyways, we are getting authorization header set correctly. Now let's debug course error. I get it. ITS order of middleware. Course middleware should come before it used. Means before authorized middleware. Let's reorder it. Now it should work fine. Yes, it is working fine. Let's play with it signing in and signing out and reloading the page again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment and share if you like it. Feel free to write me in comments what other such videos you like me to come up with. Thank you.